We'll call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, March 16th, 2023. Present at the front table to my far left is Jessica Vitale, a voting member.
Evening.
Next to Jessica is Ed McGargy, a voting member. Hello. My left, Ernie Angelos, our solicitor. To my right, Bill Rose, a voting member. Next to Bill is Jesse Poynton, a voting member. Down at the other table, Margie Buchanan, Deputy Zoning Officer for Haverford Township. Bill, you want to lead us in the pledge?
Sure. Please rise if you can. Repeat after me. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have one new case on the agenda this evening. It is case Z23-02, Michael and Megan Maligan, owners of 214 Walnut Place, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2208-0107100, who seek a variance from the provisions of section 182-207C7 to construct a 26-foot, 8-inch by 16-foot, two-story addition that will encroach into the required 25-foot rear yard setback by 14 feet 9 inches, and from the provisions of section 182-207C9 to exceed the permitted 45% impervious by 168.83 square feet, or 48.46%, and from the provisions of section 182-707A1 and 2 and 182-707B to use an unapproved permeable surface system to allow parking for two vehicles that will be unable to exit independently where there had been independent parking. The property is zoned R5 and located in the 8th Ward.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is this technically a continued case, or do we have to make it a new case because of the additional request?
I just read it as a new case. What difference does it make? Ernie?
Okay.
It's technically a continuation with an amendment, but I'm not sure it really, for substantive purposes, matters.
But then the applicant would have to know to add the other information in, so we're not going over it again. That's my point of view.
Yeah, I think when we closed last time, we kept the record open with the understanding that there may be an amendment to that which was submitted. Advertisement had to occur for purposes of the amendment. It wasn't advertised with that the first time, but I believe the record is still open. It is still the same case, Z-23-02. It does not have a new number compared to what it was originally, so I think it's a continuation. It just happens that it has an amendment that adds an additional request for relief.
Thank you.
So, and therefore, Ernie, the record, together with any and all exhibits from any prior hearings are incorporated into this hearing.
Correct.
Hold on one second.
Yep, hold on. I have remembered. So, Bob, I had the exhibits as A1, A2. Hold on. That was several pages, I guess. A3 was the overhead Google view, street view. 2 shots. A4 was the, I think it was A4. Anything
I
else?
have one for,
Yeah,
where's the plot plan?
right.
So pick up
Yep.
with A5 because it looks like there's some exhibits, the impervious.
Was there, they may have submitted letters of support.
So what do you have, Jess?
I didn't write down what
Do you have the exhibits? Margie, do you have?
A5 was impervious coverage.
Okay.
So then 6, 7 may have been letters of support, which were not in our packets originally. I don't believe.
Margie, do you have the file with the original exhibits by any chance? You have them.
I think I may have originals.
You do. You have the originals.
Yes. They may have left with me, but I have,
We have to submit those.
so I have those through A5 at this point.
Okay. All right.
So we may have left with those.
Yes, I don't know because the neighbors testified.
Yeah, but we did that as a different exhibit, so if we were gonna continue with their exhibits as the applicant, we could probably go with A6.
So why don't you guys identify yourselves for the record? Okay. First,
Oh,
your
sure.
full name and address, and you were both sworn at the last hearing, right?
We were, yeah.
Correct.
So would you just kindly state your name and address for the record, please?
Sure. My name is Megan Maligan. I live at 214 Walnut Place in Havertown, Pennsylvania.
And I am Michael Maligan. I live at 214 Walnut Place in Havertown as well.
Okay, and Michael, may I have the original exhibits? Unless you need to
Absolutely.
refer to them, but
Absolutely.
and do you have any additional exhibits that you want to
I do.
identify for the record tonight?
I do.
I think we all just collectively agree that we're up to Exhibit A6.
Okay.
How many more do you have, Michael?
I believe I'm going to have 4.
You know, before you do that, let me just, A5 was your impervious calculations.
Correct.
Is this different now than what you submit?
Correct.
So we have to replace A5 or,
No, just another additional.
so maybe
exhibit.
do this as A6, so it's right on A5.
So that's the updated.
Yes, please, Bridget. Hey,
I believe I'm going to have 4 more. So we'll have, yes, correct. And I don't know if each individual page has to be.
I don't know what they are, but so yeah, we may as well.
Okay.
And how many are
There are 4 pages. I think this one was going to be A6 as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Okay, so if you could just read the exhibit number and just give a brief description what each depicts in order would be great, Michael. So A6.
Sure,
is your
A6 is the
revised
updated
impervious surface
impervious,
calculation.
correct. A7 is drawing C2.
Can I see it?
Yes. So C2 at the bottom right.
C2. It's A7.
This combined site plan A.
So A8,
A8 is C2A.
Where's
Okay.
A?
9
A9 is A2.
and 10.
And 10 is the first page of an impervious,
It's techno earth
permeable,
grass
yeah,
paver.
techno earth grass.
Wait, say that one more time.
It's the techno earth grass paver, permeable paver, cover
You
page,
could submit all, whatever it is, 4 pages together.
together.
They're already marked independently. So what's A11?
The second page of the techno earth,
It looks like the
before and after.
black honeycomb at the top.
Okay. And 12?
Third page of techno earth.
Thirteen
And the last page of the techno earth.
Honeycomb with the grass.
and 15, or 14 rather?
That's it. We're up to A13.
Okay, so there's 14 or 15.
No, sir.
Okay, so we've got you want, to admit all of these into the record?
Sure.
Okay. So, all of those exhibits A1 through 13 are submitted
Okay.
into the record. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where we left off last time?
Sure.
Right? We kept the case open for you to come back and share some additional information. It looks like you've got some new drawings and some new information about a pervious paving alternative.
Sure. So where we left off, I think last time was, we talked through the addition. Some questions had arisen about the requirement for the 2 off-street parking. So I believe where we left off was, we went back, we reevaluated and looked at the drawing, looked to see how we could either reduce the overall addition, or I think we looked at more so providing a permeable parking spot in the back of the addition between our property line and the actual addition itself. After talking with the zoning officer, I think the day later, learned that each of the cars that were off-street parking had to independently exit. So that's why we are seeking the relief for the 182-707 A1, A2, and B sections. And then ultimately with the permeable paver that we're proposing, that techno earth or something comparable to that, that did raise our impervious, which previously we were under the 45% requirement, and it did take us over the 45%. I believe it took us up to 48.46%. Looking back though at the R5 conforming lot, if it was a conforming lot at 5,500 square feet, that calculation actually would be at 43.00% with that additional 9 by 18 parking space in the back. But with our current lot at 97.5 by 50, we are over the impervious of 45%. So we are seeking relief for that section as well.
So with the impervious pavers, or I'm sorry, the pervious pavers,
Correct.
you are counting all of that area as impervious?
We were informed from the zoning officer that they had to be counted towards impervious.
Towards impervious.
Right.
So your impervious went up based on from the old exhibit A5 to the new exhibit A6.
Correct. Because of that parking space.
By roughly 190 square feet. Yeah, 190, right, according to your calculations.
Yeah, I don't have my A5 in front of me.
It was 2171,
Yeah, so
now
it's,
it's 2362.
right. there's like a little triangular piece that we had to do for, and I show this in Exhibit A7, where I show the two cars stack parked. So I show the 9x18 with my Jeep Grand Cherokee on that, and I show the Jeep Wrangler that we own there, and I show sort of a triangular piece that would have to be done as well for the tire, so that I wasn't parking on my grass. So that's the 162 square feet plus that triangular piece gets up to the 190 some. Also, A9, excuse me, A9, I drew up intentionally because I think there was a little bit of confusion as to the 14-foot and the 16-foot overhang, and then also the question of whether or not there could actually be a parking spot back there. So I did show an elevation, and I did show the Jeep Grand Cherokee that we do own in that spot as well, on that elevation, just to show that it would fit.
Jesse?
Yes, a few questions. So going all the way back, is your testimony that your hardship is that your lot is smaller than the current code requires?
I think that's the biggest hardship that we have is it's non-conforming 625 square feet less, which is about 12 and a half feet deep on a 50-foot wide lot.
And so you already mentioned that if you had a conforming lot, you wouldn't be over in the impervious, so you wouldn't have to ask for that relief. And presumably you'd also have more room to have the two parking spaces that were required.
Correct.
Okay. My other question, thank you for clarifying the elevation in the back. That's very helpful.
You're welcome.
My biggest question is, did you look into whether you could do a lay-by parking with the pervious pavers in the front yard?
I did. And I do have, actually, I did bring drawings with that as well in case that came up. So that would be another exhibit that I have, and I do have 7 copies of those to hand out.
And so since it wasn't in your original exhibit list, is that because this is presumably not your preferred
Correct.
scheme? Okay.
Correct. Yeah, my preferred is what we submitted, having the stacked parking.
We feel like it would just take away from the neighborhood in terms of layout. I mean, if people don't have driveways in front of their house, which is rare on our block, that it would look funny and kind of take away the feel of the neighborhood landscape. So this, we're open to it, but it was more of like our backup plan, if you will.
Was it your previous testimony that you typically park one car in the back and one in the street?
We typically do that, yes.
Because my other concern, and I think it's illustrated on A7 in the plan number 3, which is on the left-hand side of the drawing where you show both of your cars. And the rear of the one vehicle seems to be within the shared common driveway. And I know your neighbors were here before and said that it's pretty tight back there. So that would be another concern I would have, is that if you were to park 2 cars back there, this kind of illustrates that it would be, that you might be hanging over into the shared driveway.
And we do currently. I mean, the back, both of our cars, our neighbors and ours, ultimately hang over into the driveway a decent amount, just with our existing conditions that we have.
And that's pretty much the whole block. I mean,
Right.
our other neighbors are here to testify. You can see that in every shared driveway in our area.
Are you aware if your deed has a specified easement for the width of the driveway, the common driveway?
I'm not aware of that off the top of my head.
Did you want to enter that new plan did you want to enter the plan with the parking space in the front?
Yeah, we can do that. This would be 14. And can I hand these out to everybody? Okay.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. This will be A14?
Thanks a lot.
We identified it, what, as A14, which is a proposed plan, site plan, option C, which is identified as C4.
Correct. Correct.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, okay. Actually, we were flipping through your original packet, and you did submit a copy of your deed. Yeah, this one. So at the top of the page, it says Exhibit A, and then reading down, it does provide for a 8-foot wide private driveway, and then it goes on to say that it's shared in common with the neighbors.
And when you say Exhibit A, Jesse, just to be clear, that's not
Correct.
a hearing marked exhibit. You're reading from the deed.
From the actual piece of paper, it happens to say, start at the top of the page with Exhibit A, but it was in the original packet.
It's also in the deed.
Right, and the deed was submitted with the application
Right.
to establish standing, but that's not marked and in the record, so you can ask him a question about it, but
Well, do you want to include your deed in which has your shared easement for the driveway?
Sure, we can do that.
Why don't we make A15 the initial application in total?
Okay.
go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, so, okay, so that, as long as you're in agreement that that is your deed and that is your understanding, so that answers my previous question.
Yes.
So, but that's not what you're asking us, though. You're asking us for relief from the 2 parking spaces. So you're showing that that's how it would be if there were 2 spots back there, but you're actually asking for relief by way of putting the cars in the back.
I'm asking for relief for the independent exiting first and foremost. Right.
Okay. And then did you want to take us through A14 and what you're showing in A14?
Sure. So A14 is not much different than our preferred of A7. The difference is we still show that triangular piece in the back for a car to be able to park further back. And the second parking for the independent exiting, we're showing up off of in the front near the pedestrian walkway up to our front porch that would be able to independently exit into the driveway and enter from the driveway into that spot. And same deal, it would be 9 by 18. It would be with the permeable pavers, just so that it blended in with the grass up there, so it didn't look completely awful.
And did you consider doing it as more of a parallel spot too, turning it 90 degrees from the way you have it here?
I looked at it that way as well. Preferably this way is a little better for us, but I did look at it the other way as well.
And in A8, you showed a turning radius plan. Does this work within the same turning radius?
Yes. Yeah, so and again, A8, I think there was a concern about making the turn into a spot in the back. So I did find the turning radius information on a Jeep Grand Cherokee, was able to depict that on this drawing and show that it can, in fact, make that turn into that back spot.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
That's a go.
Just want to ask a question about the proposed addition. I know that the upper floor is extending 2 feet past the lower floor. And I just wanted to confirm that the 16 feet on the second floor is the minimum required size that you need to make your addition work.
Yeah, so we've looked at it extensively over a number of years, trying to play with the floor plan. We really want to get the laundry up to the second floor and have the master bathroom with the master bedroom. And we have played with this so much, and that is the minimum that we've come up with that could actually work.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome.
I don't have any other question.
Ed?
Yeah, the issue of the permeable paving, I hear you're trying to say that you're going to plant soil and grass in those.
Correct.
I don't think that is recommended because you're going to park on it. And so the grass wouldn't get sun necessarily if your car was there. So it's usually preferable to have gravel on those type of applications. Now, if you're doing an emergency access road, yeah, that's fine. But something that you're going to park on all the time, it's probably preferable to use gravel. Would you be amenable to that?
Absolutely.
The other issue, the reason the township doesn't accept, one of the reasons the township may not accept it as being pervious, because even the state does not recognize it as being pervious unless you have a bed underneath it of sufficient capacity to hold the stormwater.
Right.
Because normally you would compact the earth to be able to put the geogrids on top, so it would ruin any impermeability that it would have. That's all I have.
And we do plan to follow the details to the T with all the underlayment and everything that comes along with this type of product. So if there's 6 inch of stone underneath that's compacted or whatever, I believe that we're going to try to drain everything out to our easement side area drain that we have out there, so that water does not collect there and it does actually drain out as well.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, Bill?
You know, I just had a question. On any of these A7, A8, there is a little square where the existing house jogs into the proposed addition.
Yeah,
What is that?
so that's a Bilco door.
Oh,
That's
it's a Bilco door, okay.
Yeah, that's an entrance
Got
down
it.
into the basement.
And that's there now?
That would be new with the addition
Okay,
to get into the new basement storage area.
okay,
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I don't think well, maybe just one other. On page A8.
Yes.
You depict the turning radius into your new proposed pervious, impervious parking spot.
Yes, sir.
And then, and so that's helpful. And I guess the turning radius for your neighbor is more or less a mirror image.
Correct.
But on A7, it would have been great to have the turning radius marked there so we could see where this angled parking of a car that from the top appears to be a Wrangler is interfering with your neighbor's turning radius to get in and out. Have you run into any experience where because one of you park on an angle and the other one can't?
Right.
Because you can't get in to park on the same angle, and if you did, can either one back up?
We've never had a problem with that type of situation. We've also only parked one car back there at any given point in time as well, because really there's no chance to park 2 cars back there at the same time.
Got it.
So we've never run into that situation.
Okay, no further questions, thank you.
Jesse?
No other questions.
Jessica?
No other questions?
Ed?
I have no other questions.
Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
No, but we appreciate all of your time.
Consideration.
100%. You guys have been great, and we appreciate coming back to see you guys again.
You know, I do have one question for you guys. I don't remember if I asked this last time. Did you talk to all your neighbors, the adjoining neighbors?
We talked to the majority of them, yes.
And was anybody opposed, if you want to do?
Nobody specifically said they were opposed to any of this.
Thanks.
If anything, people were more so in favor of it than opposed.
You can have a seat. For that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify. Anyone that received regular mail? Any other resident of Haverford Township? You guys want to testify about this case at all? No? Okay.
Yeah, we're
I swear, we put it on the record.
I think that.
Did they last time?
You guys testified at the last hearing too? Yeah, okay.
And you, sir? No? Okay. With that, we'll close the record on this case, and a decision will be rendered either this evening. If the event in the event we're unable to reach a decision this evening, a decision would be rendered at our next regularly scheduled hearing on, let's have the date. Is it the 30th?
No. And it'll be,
April 6th.
April 6th.
On April 6th. We're in recess. Off the record, Jeff, please.
And we're good.
All right. We'll reconvene the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board with respect to case Z2302. Jessica, are you prepared to vote? Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Phil? Yes. And so am I. Jesse, would you please take this decision?
Yes. With regards to case Z23-02, I would vote to grant the requested relief. In addition, grant a variance from the requirement that off-street parking spots be paved, and this would be applicable to the proposed parking on Exhibit A7, with the following conditions. That water and drainage runoff shall be directed in a way so as not to adversely affect neighbors. 2, the project shall be completed in accordance with the notes of testimony, except testimony regarding Exhibits A5 and A14. And 3, the project shall be completed within 1 year.
Jessica?
I disagree.
Ed?
I concur.
Bill?
I concur.
And so do I. That application is approved with those conditions 4-1. And just so you guys are clear, A14, your exhibit A14 was the one that showed the parking spot in the front. You don't have to do that. I don't want you to do that. Okay. Jessica, do you have minutes?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 16th meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? No. Any other administrative business?
No.
All right, we are adjourned.